couldn't he use the Sky Ripper just once? After all, if chances were 1 in 128, that meant he'd for sure be okay the first time. Oh, I know the odds. Good. Because there's a real chance you could destroy the universe. No, not the first time I use it. The odds are too low. What? No. But he was starting to feel like he was getting the hang of this. There was a way through to victory. He could feel it. He just had to keep running the Path of Destinies. With that, the book fluttered back to the beginning, and he fell into it. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Bernardo knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong. But he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it, to take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course, Renato had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion. But could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Now we have all 3 paths open to us again. What to do, what to do.
Dirty and bloody, Renato finally reached Lapino. The rabbit was practicing his shuffle. Renato recognized the cards. It was Lapino's favorite deck. Oh, I thought you were in danger. I am. The Ravens are coming. Oh, the prison thing. Right, yeah, we see this guard owed me 53 ducats, so we made a deal. They're very reasonable people, actually, for weasels. Now, I got a brilliant plan to kidnap Zenobia. We capture Zenobia, we find out what she knows, and that's the whole war right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Capture the Emperor's greatest general, who also happened to be a deadly sorcerer and, oh, his only daughter? That would be worth it. On the other hand, he could still get to the core of the Sky Ripper, even if he couldn't get the whole thing. It must have great power.
Here we are, so we're up to Lapino's storyline again. We know he's a traitor, and we've chosen one or the other, so let's look at the stories. So I rescued Lapino, I did that, and then I found Zenobia. So, what if, instead of rescuing Zenobia, I went for the Eye of the Lost God? So, the Eye of the Lost God must hold great power. Reynaldo and Lapino were held back to... not held back. Oh my god, I'm not even reading this properly. The Eye of the Lost God must hold great power. Reynaldo and Lapino were back together, but Reynaldo still needed a game changer to save the rebellion. Even though Reynaldo could no longer get the Sky Ripper's armature, its core was still within reach. Maybe he could still harness its power with Lapino's help. Now we all remember that it has enough power to practically destroy the universe itself, the very fabric of reality. However, last time I chose to go and try to capture Zenobia, but I, being the kind-hearted soul I am, a little too kind-hearted if you ask me, I decided to save her, and that's the route I went with, and that's the hero of heart, so I followed my heart. This time we're gonna go get the jewel.
To make the Sky Ripper, the Transcendent Emperor had wrapped an armature around the eye of a god. Bernardo had already let that armature slip away to save Lapino's life. But even its core, the eye torn from a god, surely they could fashion a great weapon from that. The core of the Sky Ripper? Lapino's excited. That's an actual thing that we could just go and get. You've been busy. He sure had. Renato told him all the things he'd been up to. Soon they got to talking about old times, about wages they'd won and lost, and scrapes they'd barely got out of. It was good to be back with his friend. True, the core was capable of terrible, uncontrollable destruction. But this time, he was sure it would work great.
No, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna work great, to be honest. It's such an uncontrollable power. It's far too dangerous for anyone to hold, unless they know what they're doing. And now we know that Lupino's a traitor. So is he gonna try to steal the gem off me? I wonder.
It's beautiful here, thought Reynardo. It was nice to be back with his old war buddy. All right. Lupino was a traitor. But still, it was good company.
So yeah, we know Reynardo is a traitor. No, not Reynardo. Lupino is a traitor. So, I wonder how this is going to turn out. More ore, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's the ultimate question, isn't it? Not yet. I think there's treasure on this side. Yep. Yes, more treasure please.
The new pathway made Reynardo curious.
Okay, so we got energy unkilled shield breaker. Critical chance. Yeah, I think energy on kill is good. It's very useful. So we got enough water essence, we just need more ore. There's a maximum, and this one we need one more wind essence and plenty more ore. I think I'll probably go with this one. Speed increases even further versus freezes all surrounding enemies. And I like that ice one because it's like a 2-hit kill. Now I've read this in my other path, but just in case I didn't have it recorded, I'm just going to read it again. So here we go. Dear Zenobia, the director of the academy has told me how much he was impressed by your academic performance and leadership. However, somehow, I doubt this was a session of bootlicking. I have seen plenty of those. That old toad is sincere. I am proud of you, my daughter. You will make a fine empress one day. On my end, great news. Professor Calaveras has been studying the Nexus, and he has made a bold observation. That toad is a true genius. You know how that island is unique, constantly changing, new crystalline formations appearing, island fragments merging, splitting, slowly drifting, held together by some invisible threads? Professor Calaveras is convinced those changes are not random, but rather indicative of the living nature of the islands. He has observed that certain changes on the Nexus follow, or sometimes precede, a turbulence on another island. Landslides, quake, flood. The Nexus seems to resonate with those events. Maybe the islands are a hive mind and the Nexus is the brain. In any case, I am funding a permanent scientific observatory on the Nexus. It will attract the Empire's greatest minds, with Professor Calaveras at the helm. I anticipate a great age of enlightenment for the Empire. With love, Father. Ah, very cute. That seems like a noble cause right there. So why has that... Oh, okay, here we go. So my question is, why has he turned so... Has he turned evil? That's the other question. Because if he hasn't turned evil and I'm just doing this for the... well, not the kicks, but... shoot! There we go. Like, that seems like a noble cause, finding out more of the world. So why is he resurrecting the old gods and such? There's more than what meets the eye.
This stone was incredibly valuable. Renato could sense it. Also, it still had its price tag.
I love those witty comments. And that's why I like the ice. It's just 2 hits and they pretty much die. Really
It wasn't his fault. They looked so breakable.
As I was gonna say, I really gotta use the dash function a lot more.
There was something sour in the air. Like the earth had ruptured over something that had been fermenting for a very long time.
This time I'm gonna go the other route. I just wanted to see what it looks like.
He felt like Tarzan.
Oh, I already don't like the other pathway. Yeah, the other pathway would have given me treasure. Lesson learned, never again.
Renato felt wrong all over. He could feel an almost palpable sickness in the air. And if the land could have tumors, they would look like these monstrous crystals. The forest was quieter than it had been. There were insects, but few birds, if you didn't count the ravens. Renato smelled sick animals and dying ones, but no healthy ones. And getting a bad feeling about this, Renato thought. Maybe Lapina was right. Maybe they should have kidnapped Zenobia instead of coming here.
Maybe. But we must unlock
Where did
all the other
that go
stories.
to?
Okay, attack speed, nice. But what I wanted is more ore. Why is it giving me health now? I don't need health, I need ore. I'm at full health already.
The thing about puzzles was, once you solved one, you knew how to solve it again. Puzzles had no, what was the word? Replayability? Renato wondered if you could design a puzzle that would be different every time you played with it. Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be fun, actually. Okay, so still got one more truth to unlock. Ooh, ultimate sword fu. Kill any enemy in a single strike. Auto activates when reaching a certain combo threshold. Now that sounds useful. A puzzle that keeps changing.
Now, before I kill you guys, Renato said, do any of you know where I can get a good smoothie around here?
I seem to be getting better at this. Do we have to get it? Can't we just like do something else with it?
As he held the radiant icosahedron, Renato felt queasy. Like dozens of tiny worms were nibbling his insides. It wasn't healthy to be so close to the eye of a god. How could he use it? He could take it to the observatory. The scientists there could tell him how to harness its ancient power. But honestly, Renato ached to get away from it. He brought the core back with him to the Farfarer. But honestly, Renato ached to be rid of it. Tell you what, said Lupino. I'll take it to the observatory. You attack the Imperial outpost. The Imperial outpost was a vital communications node. Taking it could shatter the Empire's ability to coordinate. And it would be full of secret plans and maps and maybe even rebel prisoners. It was a good target for a hero like Renato. But what if Lupino lost the core to the Empire? That could be a good thing, couldn't it? Was Renato ready to take that risk? Maybe it was better if he brought the core to the scientists himself.
Yes, he could lose it to the Empire and then they can get overpowered by the gem. Or the Eye of God. Or we can give it to the scientists.